Before we start the video, a disclaimer where I want to say that I'm using older videos to be able to provide you with high quality content already before the tournament starts, and therefore in those videos you will see the old spin value, and the old spin value is up to 7 bars of side spin, so it's a side spin value that is the old one, which is not the same as it is today. The thing that you can do is to take the side spin value in this video and then divide it by 2.33 to get the new side spin value. Obviously, there will be new videos once the tournament starts to display the correct spin value. And once again, this is done to provide you with the best possible content before the tournament starts, so you can get a head start with the Stateside Classic Tournament. So, let's go to the video. For hole number 1 in tailwind, we're looking to go for green, and with that, with 4 bars of topspin, and I'm using 2 bars of side spin to the right with a new side spin value. 2 bars of side spin to the right is the same as 4.5 side spin with the old side spin value. Now I'm looking at to stretch out using the red ring to be by the bunker on the left with extra mile level 7. Have in mind that that will be different if you have a club with a different accuracy than the extra mile level 7. Now I'm using 1.2 ball outside the adjustment ring to the right and 4.5 rings of overpower. The only thing that we're looking for here is to get the ball over the rough and then just roll towards the green area. If you do have a kingmaker, or if you do have a lot of kingmakers, use a kingmaker, because the side spin 3 will help you go to the right. The reason I do use the berserker ball to display in the info box is to display the fact that you can use another ball with more power to make this shot easier, because using a power 4, power 5 will obviously reduce the amount of overpower that you need to go with. If you do have a headwind or a crosswind for the drive, you cannot reach over the rough and the sand, and then you're going to have to lay up. And meaning that we will just bounce only the rough and the sand, and that will be making us having a short iron to pin, and we play medium distance minus 10% with the short iron. If you do get up to the green area, you have a wedge, make sure that you aim just barely outside the cup for a crosswind. Otherwise, make sure you have the ball guideline inside the hole, because that will be enough, because this wedge will not be affecting the ball as much, even though we have a high wind. For hole number 2, we will be playing with our sniper, and in this case a navigator ball. I would recommend to use a ball with at least side spin 2 if we do have a wind coming right to left. But if having a straight wind or a wind coming left to right, a navigator is perfect here. I'm using 5.2 bars of backspin, and this with the old side spin value is 1.8 side spin, which in the end would be approximately 0.9, 0.8 bars of side spin with a new side spin value. Red ring by the rough line, the ball guideline is a little bit to the left of the pin, and the reason that is because we are compensating for the push that comes left to right. Adjustment medium distance plus 10. and then it's time to take our shot. Now we will see the ball bounce on the fairway, getting it over, but unfortunately we do catch a glitch roll. Unfortunately, in terms of we will not be getting that ball to drop every time with that glitch roll, so we are a little bit lucky to get that ball to roll in. In the end though, that is a roll that will be there. It's going to happen at some point, but it's not gonna happen every time. It's pretty rare to get that glitch roll, and that is if you hit that specific spot in that downhill area that we're coming into. But the plan is to bounce on the fairway over the fringe and then down to the fairway and then slow down and roll nicely towards the pin. Tough par 3, but definitely a makeable hole-in-one. For hole number 3, we're looking to play with our quarterback, and I'm using 3 bars of topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the left, which with the new side spin value is side spin 2. So 2 bars of side spin. I'm looking for the red ring by the rough line with the ball guideline pointing to the left side of the bunker. The important part with that landing position is to not steer yourself blind with the fact that we are in max distance now, because with a higher level quarterback, that if I'm saying to you to go to max distance of your club, you will be aiming into the rough, and that will make you miss the drive, and then the eagle is basically gone. So make sure to use the red ring and the ball guideline as references. Maximum distance plus 10, 1.5 ball curl outside the adjustment ring to the left, and we're looking to get the ball as close to the top fairway possible. The closer we get to the top, the easier the second shot is going to be, and also the more we are to the left, the less in play the trees to the right will be. So now I'm looking to use my club with the most power. Do I need it based on the drive that we did? Not really, because the drive was really good, but it's important to have a wood club with a lot of power to make sure that if we make a short drive, that we still have power to reach. Because for me, the eagle here is more important than what it is to have an opportunity for an albatross, because I personally believe that the albatross is extremely difficult to achieve, and if you push too hard for it, you will risk going into the rough or into the sand, and that will in some cases make you miss the eagle. So for me, this is an eagle hole completely, and I'm playing as it is as well, and I'm playing to get the ball to the green. If we do have a straight tailwind for the drive, where we do achieve somewhat a 7-8 miles per hour wind, then we could, with superior drivers that has a minimum 6 bars of topspin, get over the rough on the left, and then you maybe have a little chance for an albatross. I still think that the albatross chance is very slim if you get over the rough anyway. So in the end, to summarize everything, this is an eagle hole. If you get an eagle, that's going to be good. You should not be mad, because you will see way more people making a birdie here than you will see people making an albatross. For hole number 4, I'm going to play just in the center here, using a wind ball in this case. It is not recommended to use a wind ball, but if you have the possibility, it's definitely worth the investment, as you will have a much easier time to compensate for the wind. Now I'm adjusting with the red ring by the rough line, spin to pin, which will be approximately 3 bars of backspin and also some side spin to the right. Adjustment here is I'm doing medium distance plus 10, but I would like you to play medium distance plus 15 in crosswind here for this shot. We're gonna bounce on the fairway. You can see that we come a little bit more to the left than we were aiming, and that's why we do need a little bit more adjustment. Why do I suggest a navigator ball in the adjustment, or like in the info box? It's because this is a makeable shot with a navigator also. The only thing that it will happen is that you will have a higher wind. But I think if we can keep ourselves with a power 1, power 2 ball, and obviously then try to add as much wind resistance possible, we're definitely going to have an edge going into hole number 4. For hole number 5, we're going to play a par 4 that is fairly tough. I do decide to play on the right side in crosswind and tailwind. This because then we can reach to the fairway with a power 3 ball, and in headwind it's going to be a bit more difficult, and I'm going to talk about that in the end. Maximum distance +5, and I'm using all from no topspin to 1 bar of topspin, and then 2 bars of side spin to the right. 2 bars mean the new side spin value. It's displayed as 4.5 in the video here. Bouncing on the fairway, the ball gets up to the top of the fairway very nicely. Sure, we could maybe reduce the topspin a little bit here on this shot, as we got a bit too close in my opinion. We do need to get up there, but we won't need to get that far. Second shot, I do have the Goliath, and you will see that we are in somewhat around 30 to 40% of our club, and base it on the fact that we would need to go a little bit shorter with our drive, and then we should be playing in medium distance of our club. Now I'm looking for my second bounce to be just before the fringe starts, using approximately 3 bars of backspin, 10% elevation, and we then base it on the club distance that we do have, which will be many of the cases medium distance of our club, but always go to max and go back to minimum to check what club distance you're in. It bounces on the fairway and gets over there, and we have a lovely speed, but unfortunately we take a 360 out. The Grizzly will be superior to Goliath due to its ball guideline, because not having the ball guideline will obviously make us having to guess many of the times on how to position the ball guideline, and that could be the case why we missed that shot. We kind of don't know, as we don't see the ball guideline. So Grizzly level 7+ if you have it, otherwise we go Goliath. For hole number 6, I will show you the route to the left, and I do believe that from the second tee, but also from the third tee, if you're playing in Master Division, the left side is going to be the best way to play, as it will open up and give us somewhat a consistent way to the pin all the time. 3 bars of topspin, max side spin to the left, and we, in this case, are going to reduce just a little bit, just due to the tailwind that we're having. So 2.5 bar topspin in tailwind, and then obviously we need to increase the topspin if we do have a crosswind or a headwind. If we're having a straight tailwind, we could consider blasting it on the right hand side using a power 5 ball with a low wind resistance, but other than that, we are going to play here to the left, and you can see here that this fairway kind of works like a bowl in somewhat, that you will most likely be at the same type of place all the time, and that is a strong advantage to get the drive to the same spot all the time, because that will help for the second shot. Now second shot, I'm playing with the sniper, and now I'm trying to catch a little funnel that is there by the green. It's not a big one, so don't take too much time to look for it, but we're looking to in somewhat use a little bit of backspin and then also a little bit of side spin depending on our position with our drive. And you can see here that I'm getting this ball guideline to have the first bounce on the fairway, second bounce on the green, and I think there is value in that, as if we are having the second bounce before the green, we are going to risk having a different roll than what we will have if we bounce over the fringe. Maximum distance +10 is what this one should be adjusted as, and it bounces and it rounds and it rolls and it rolls and it rolls, dude. So close. In the end though, good chance for an albatross here by using the left hand side on hole number 6. For hole number 7, here I do think there is value playing in absolute minimum distance in headwind and crosswind using our quarterback, Pack the Sniper, to find that minimum distance line. Approximately 0.8 bars of backspin and all side spin to the right. With the new side spin value, max side spin with a side spin 3 ball is 3 bars. Adjustment, minimum distance +10 is 7.4 rings, and then it's time to take our shot. In tailwind, I would strongly recommend you to go for a rough bump instead of bouncing on the fairway. The reason I'm not doing a rough bump in crosswind and headwind is because it is an inconsistent line, in my opinion, to play the rough bump. Not saying that it's much more consistent to bounce on the fairway, but in my book, it's more consistent than playing the rough bump. In the end though, this is a tough par 3 where, you know, we have been spending a lot of time before without really getting close to being 100%. But bouncing on the fairway up towards the pin by using minimum distance line, at least that brings a very nice consistency in terms of finding the correct landing position. For hole number 8, we are looking to get this ball as far down the fairway possible. I'm using the quarterback here, which may not be the best option, to be honest. I do think that the rock would be a better club to use here, because now I'm going to have to push up, I'm going to have to do everything like that, so it would be beneficial to play with a driver that do have more power. So if you can play with the rock, use the rock instead of the quarterback, it will be an easier drive, even though it's not hard with the quarterback either. Max plus 10, I'm using max side spin to the right, and also in this case I want to use 5 bars of top spin. If I don't have 5 bars of top spin, I use as much as I can. Second shot, I do play with the sniper or the guardian. If I'm going to do the bank shot, meaning that I'm going to use backspin and use the back of the fairway, if that can be called it like that, then I'm using the guardian. Otherwise, I'm going to play with the sniper here for the rough bump. And this is going to be a difficult one with the rough bump. I do believe that elevation is 0. And the only thing that we then need to obviously adapt for is the amount of rings to play, like how far are we in terms of club distance. Obviously you can see on the results here that I'm adjusting way too much. Bounce into the rough nicely though, but we definitely are adjusting approximately 1 ring too much, it looks like. If using the guardian, max with no elevation. If using a rough bump, we will most likely play in somewhat medium distance to close to minimum distance, sometimes with no elevation, but make sure you always check club distance. This is a very tough par 4, which I do not expect many drops, but it's always nice to have an opportunity. For hole number 9, we will be playing one of the toughest par 5s in the whole game to make an eagle at. And here I'm using like somewhat between 2 to 4 bars of topspin, aiming for the top of the fairway. I'm using in this case also close to 2 bars of side spin to the right with a new side spin value. You may be wondering, why do I do that? Why do I move my target more to the left than necessary? It's because I do want to start with the white ring by the rough line to make it easier for my landing position decision. Perfect ball, and we will see this ball carry away, and it will bounce on the fairway and take itself to the top of the fairway. The closer we are to the top there, the easier the second shot is going to be. And looking at it now, we could have played with 3.5 bar topspin, maybe even 4. Maximum distance plus 10 for the drive. Second shot, there is no chance whatsoever. I would call it impossible to reach a green in 2 here. Mainly because of the trees on the right. We cannot, even if we would be having a ton of topspin and topspin boost on our ball, we will not be able to go through the trees. There isn't a ball that works like that. So the only thing that we're looking for is using max topspin, transport the ball straight forward, and position ourselves for the third shot. Perfect ball here is more important than what I do think you think it is. And the reason for that is we're going to have to in somewhat dial this shot in from distance. And if we do have a perfect ball, obviously a perfect ball will help us to know, okay, then we can adjust from that. We can take that in our note. If we have a great ball to the left or to the right, that will make a difference in how close or far away we are from the pin for the third shot. So looking at the third shot, we play with a thorn. We're going to be somewhat close to medium distance here. So it's going to be medium / maximum distance most of the time. So you will be somewhere between 50 to 80% club when you take this shot. Always make sure that you do go to max and you go back to minimum to estimate the club distance for this shot. Otherwise, if you don't do that, it's going to be just a complete lottery if you're gonna get this ball to drop or not. No spin, and I'm not using any elevation whatsoever for this shot. And now it's all about executing. Perfect ball, you are going to have a chance. With a great ball, you will not see yourself be getting this one to drop. And if we can get this ball to drop, then it's going to be awesome. Now I under adjust this shot, and that's going to happen, unfortunately, for everyone. And that's what makes this hole so extremely difficult, as there is no way to get to the green in two. As we do not have the wind for it with the drive. But just to have that said in the end as well, if you possess a high level driver, you like as a Thor Sammer level 7 plus, Apocalypse level 6 plus, Extra Mile level 9 plus, not plus, but Extra Mile level 9, and we do have a straight tailwind, and we are able to use at least a power 5 ball with wind resistance 1 or 0, then we could be lucky to go over the rough for the drive, and then you have a possibility with a power slice to get to the green. That is extremely difficult still, but definitely a possibility if we do get that type of wind. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various type of wind, which is older videos to provide you with high quality content before the tournament starts. Make sure you get the ultimate tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.